What's going on, everyone? I am excited about this one. We are playing combo odd only Han, which is an extremely exciting list. I've been waiting to dive into some Han Solo, hopefully do some crazy things in this video. Before we dive into the list as well as the games today, I want to say a big thank you to my patrons over on Patreon. Also, I have a TCG player link in the description down below. But let's dive into Han here and what we're actually doing. So guys, the best thing about Han, to be honest, is the fact that you can really manipulate the top card of your deck. I shouldn't say manipulate, but at least know the top card of your deck and then manipulate it with potentially other cards. That is the goal here. Now, with Han's ability, we reveal the top card of our deck and then we attack with a unit. Now, we must attack with a unit if we're able to, but we don't have to have a unit to attack with to use his ability, which is really important. We do get +1/+0 if they're different odd costs. Not really all that relevant. He does flip for 5. He gives us a resource for each odd, thing that we got on the battlefield, which is really, really good on that flip turn, which is why we got plenty of vehicles. And we're playing Han Blue because there's a few key cards that I really want in this deck in order for us to really succeed. Now, with Han here, we've got every single card in our deck odd. Every single card in our deck is an odd card. Now, this is mainly just for fun. I don't actually think this is how you should be building Han, but I wanted to do it just because I thought it would be cool. And I think the deck is quite solid. We got a bunch of 1-drops on turn 1. Ideally, we're dropping 2 of these on turn 1. Things like Cartel Turncoat, Y-Wing, Wolfpack Escort, R2, various different versions. As we go up the curve, we got 3-drop space units across the board. Shuttle Tedarium is pretty sweet as we can pass around some experience tokens. That gets out of hand very, very quickly. We've got Bo Shek as a way to actually draw us 2 cards when we play it as an upgrade. This is one of the payoffs for playing all odd costs along with the shuttle. As we go into the 5-drop slot, we've got Han Solo as a pilot to work with our Millennium Falcons, Obi-Wan's Ether Sprite, and Plo Koons. As well as later on in the game, we got our 7-drops in Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, and these are particularly important, as well as our 5-drops, because we're playing You Are My Only Hope. We get to look at the top card and go ahead and play it, making it cost 5 less. Now, with Han, we always get to know the top card of our deck, for the most part. And that means that we are going to be able to hopefully get down Luke's and Han Solo's for a total of 5 resources instead of 7, which is going to be really sweet. Another really awesome card alongside Bo Shek, Shuttle Tedarium, as well as You're My Only Hope to pair with Han is Foresight. Now, one of the advantages of having a relatively cheap list with a bunch of 3-drops and 1-drops is that Foresight here, we're going to be able to basically draw an additional card every single regroup phase, as long as we have it on a unit, right? Which also means that our pilots are better because we're going to increase those toughness numbers. So we're going to see what we could do with Han. I think the thing that you probably might want to consider changing is adding in a few filler pieces in the 2-drop slot, 4-drop slot. But overall, I think the odd kind of idea is pretty sweet. So let's see what we can do, guys, with Han Blue here, and hopefully we can have some fun. Into our very first game, we got ourselves a double yellow Palp, and we have the all Millennium Falcon hand. Let's go ahead and mulligan that one. Hopefully we grab something a little bit better. This one's not a bad hand. I actually think I will resource the Concord Dawn Interceptors alongside the Plo Koon. Only a single play on turn 1, which is, it's not super likely to have like multiple turn 1 plays. There's only so many cards that we really can play, but we do have like Foresight, for example, to pair with like Cartel Turncoat, for example. So that would have been an awesome turn 1 play. So there's ways we can use that one resource that's left over. They've got a Leia, and they're just going to ready up a resource. They're going to go with a 1-drop here, or they just got a Leia. Okay, I guess Leia is totally fine here. Another You're My Only Hope. Now that is interesting because I think I will just see what we've got on top of our deck, and maybe we got a 5-drop. Like a Plo Koon here would be absolutely sweet. What do we've got? We've got Commandeer. Ooh, they're just going to claim initiative. Okay, we're going to go X-Wing, and I will deal 2 damage just so we can draw a card, and we will pass here. We've got R2 and the Millennium Falcon. Again, You're My Only Hope is just consistently powerful throughout the game. Now, I know I can go Millennium Falcon here, and I will consider it. I think on this stage, I will actually get rid of the Millennium Falcon readied up version, because I think I want to deploy Millennium Falcon on the board so that I can go ahead and get a Han Solo deploy. They're going to exhaust 2 units in +4/+0, which honestly is not strong at all. I'm going to use the Han ability just to see what's on top of my deck. We've got a Han Solo, which I don't even think I care about here. I think I'm just going to get down the Millennium Falcon, and I think I will just pilot this onto the Millennium Falcon. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pilot this onto the Cartel Turncoat here, and we're going to pass. Triple You're My Only Hope. This could get interesting. I'm not going to lie, guys. I think Commandeer is pretty weak here because there's no space units our opponents played. They played a Leia into Cunning, and that is the only 2 cards they've played this game. I think we are heavily advantaged. We're going to see what we can do with You're My Only Hope here. Let's go ahead and go with the odds. We will attack with the Cartel Turncoat here, and we will reveal a Cartel Turncoat. So not exactly all that exciting. I mean, we could kill the Zygerian Starhopper, but do I really care about that? I guess I will. Because our opponents can go ahead and kill our Red Squadron X-Wing next turn with it. So here, let's go ahead and You're My Only Hope. Play the Cartel Turncoat. Not an impressive one by any means. But then we will go ahead and get in an attack. We will go ahead and flip this as a pilot onto the Millennium Falcon. Oh, wait, whoops. What I want to do is put this as a pilot there, not attack, then flip this as a pilot onto the Millennium Falcon. Then go ahead and play You're My Only Hope. And we got a Bosheck. We're going to play this as a pilot, and we're going to put this on the Cartel Turncoat, which we draw 2 more cards. And I mean, what are we doing, guys? We're comboing off here. It is absolutely incredible. What was that turn? Oh my gosh, that was absolutely sick. That was absolutely insane. We got the triple Cartel Turncoat. I mean, that was really cool. I'm not gonna. That was pretty sweet. Not that our opponent's doing anything this game, by the way. Like, even if we hadn't done something insane like that, the game was probably over. But that was pretty sweet. I missequenced those plays, which is why I had to go back. But I meant to use up all my resources from the Han Solo so that I can go ahead and deploy Han, restoring 5 resources so that we could play a second You're My Only Hope. And that was pretty sweet. And of course, our opponent disconnected. So I suppose GG. Not that it was a particularly impressive game, but we ended up getting there anyways. Into our next game, and we've got ourselves a pretty interesting one up against Palp Blue. Now, I am not a huge fan of this matchup, I will say immediately here. They got a Krennic. Oh, okay, that's a little bit interesting. I was not really expecting a Krennic to come down. Bosheck is probably pretty good in this matchup, to be honest. I think I'm going to resource the readied up Millennium Falcon because I do want to draw some cards. They got a wartime trade official, huh? I think in that case, what I will do, because I don't want them defeating this and killing off my Wolfpack Escort, I will just go ahead and put this as a pilot onto the Wolfpack Escort so that I can go ahead and draw a couple cards. That way, they can't use the Palpatine action and just get some free value. Let's go ahead and odds. See, we reveal a Foresight. Okay, we're going to get in for 3. That's the same cost as the Wolfpack Escort, so not too much value there. We're going to go ahead and claim Initiative. Actually, you know what? I don't think Initiative matters here. Based on what my opponent's playing, I don't think they're playing a traditional Palpatine deck. So I think in this situation, I'm just going to go ahead and, get down my 1 damage. They got a Super Laser Technician coming in. I think I will go ahead and use the odds ability. We've got a Republic Y-Wing on top. Not exactly what I want to be seeing realistically. But if they're going to keep doing this, where they're going to keep trying to ping down my Wolfpack Escort, I'm totally fine with that because we'll just put a Foresight on it. Top target, huh? Let's go Millennium Falcon here. And let's put Foresight on the Wolfpack Escort. And then we'll pass, and we are going to name Republic Y-Wing. And then we will draw that and then draw 2 additional cards. This is actually a really nice hand here. Now, we put the Foresight on there. It's kind of just like a cycle where we traded that card for a new card if they're able to kill it immediately. But I think they're relying on just slowly pinging it down, which obviously is something that they can do, but, well, probably not something that's going to be all that successful. There's the Power of the Dark Side, which I had mentioned. I will go ahead and use the odds here. We've got an Aethersprite on top, which means we're going to get in for 4. That's a nice hit. We have the You're My Only Hope, which can be pretty good here. But I think what I want to do is get down the Millennium Falcon Part 2 and then see if we could just absolutely crush with a massive resource turn. So let's go ahead and put this as a pilot onto the Millennium Falcon. And I will not attack with this unit because I don't think they have anything for 3 resources to really change my plan here, which is to deploy Han on that Millennium Falcon. Oh, they got a perilous position. Okay, that actually does kind of change what we have in terms of potential. Now we do have, what was it? It was the Aethersprite, right? Yes, we do have the Aethersprite. So we're gonna get in for 6. We're gonna go You're My Only Hope. We will play the Aethersprite here, and then we will go ahead and play the Y-Wing. And then I will just go ahead and name Millennium Falcon since it's the most common card in our deck. It's a Plo Koon, huh? Okay. Not a bad one. Let's go ahead and resource this Wolfpack Escort. I will go ahead and pay 1 to keep that Millennium Falcon running. And I guess I should have gotten an attack. I didn't think my opponent would have the perilous position. But I don't know if it'll matter. We're going to get in with the Wolfpack Escort here. Get in for 6 into the base. And I mean, our opponent kind of had a control deck a little bit. They had a little bit of Krennic synergies. But I mean, we just deployed so many things on that single turn that it kind of just changed the dynamic of the entire game. Really impressed with this Han Solo being able to ready up a ton of resources here, which is pretty sweet. That was awesome. I'm gonna be honest, guys, and we could have done it a little bit better. I was going for the full greed of, okay, let's put Han Solo on this guy. It's gonna become a 6-powered unit, but then we can put a Han Solo leader on it, and that's gonna become basically you get an extra power, right, when you put pilots on that guy. So I was thinking we can go for maximum damage because I wasn't thinking a perilous position. I obviously should have. I should have just attacked with it, which would have gotten me a little bit of value. Although, had I done that, I wouldn't have gotten in for 6 damage with the Millennium Falcon small version, because I'm still going to pilot onto this, and they probably would have perilous position anyway. So I guess that's something to think about. Like, it probably wouldn't have mattered in the long run. But, I mean, being able to ready up 5 resources and get down literally 5 additional points of power because of You're My Only Hope, and the Han Solo flip was sweet. That was sweet. Into our next matchup, and we've got a pretty decent hand here, honestly. I'm going to resource this Concord Dawn, and I'm also going to resource probably the Shuttle Tadirian? Yeah, because I want to go like Wolfpack Escort, Foresight, R2D2 here. And then I'm probably going to waylay my opponent's unit because, well, oh, maybe they're going to go with something completely different that I'm not expecting. Double Death Star Stormtrooper. Oh, okay. We've dumped 3 cards on turn 1. We will use the odds. We've got a Y-Wing on top. So we're going to go Republic Y-Wing. And we're going to draw that. We got ourselves You're My Only Hope, which could be pretty nice here. Double Death Star Stormtrooper is not what I was expecting in Tarkin, but that can absolutely cause us some problems. So a little bit worried about that, to be honest. A little bit worried about that. Fallen Lightsaber. Oh, perfect. We're just going to waylay that one then. Easy answer. We're going to go ahead and use Han's ability. What do we have? We've got a Millennium Falcon on top. Well, guess what? We're going to name Millennium Falcon then. And I mean, look at how powerful Foresight really is. We're just drawing multiple cards in a turn, which is absolutely sweet. Absolutely sweet. And then we can go on and potentially You're My Only Hope. We'll see. We're going to get in. We've got a Bashek on top, which is reasonable. Do I want to go with the Bashek and draw 2? I think I will as a pilot, because remember, we've got R2, so we get 2 pilots on this thing. They got another Death Star Stormtrooper. We're going to claim initiative. They're going to put an experience token on the TIE Bomber. And I suppose we will just name Millennium Falcon again, because again, that's probably going to be the most common card in our deck. That's a Han Solo on top. We've got another You're My Only Hope, double Plo Koon. I think we can resource one of them. I'm hoping to hit some sort of odd cost here. What do we reveal? R2. Not quite enough, huh? Not quite. We're just going to hit the base, I guess. Overwhelming Barrage. They're going to be able to go ahead and maybe finish off that Wolfpack Escort. Overwhelming Barrage is pretty good here. Let's go ahead and play a Plo Koon, resolve the ambush attack, and then we'll just finish off the Death Star Stormtrooper so we can't go ahead and take as much damage here. They're kind of required to go ahead and kill my Wolfpack Escort. So we'll take the 3 into the base. They're going to trade there. We're going to go ahead and deploy out this as a unit. And then we'll see what we've got following this up. We're in a decent spot. The Overwhelming Barrage was a pretty nice one here for my opponent. They're going to go ahead and attack our base. We're just going to finish off the Death Star Stormtrooper. They're going to, looks like, flip over their Tarkin. They're going to kill the Plo Koon. Okay. That's reasonable. That's reasonable. R2 is kind of a free play. The Shuttle Tedarium is kind of weak here. I think I will just go ahead and I think I'll just play Han as a unit and kill their Tarkin. The TIE Bomber is going to get in some damage for sure, which could be a little bit scary. But I mean, we've got a pretty good spot now. We got the board kind of completely removed. We could have put a Conqueror on just to block the TIE Bomber, but I was thinking that could be a little bit risky. I think we're just going to take, honestly, 3 damage to our Han, because I'd rather have him in the leader slot. Got a Ruthless Raider, and that's totally fine. That's totally fine, honestly. Let's go ahead and claim initiative. X-Wing can easily be resourced here. And I think what we're going to do here is just get in an attack. What do we've got? Boshek on top. That's not what I wanted to see. Wingman Victor 3. They're going to go ahead and put that on the TIE Bomber. I think what we'll do here is just waylay the TIE Bomber back. Really close game. Really close game. Our opponent having that really aggressive double Death Star Stormtrooper start has definitely changed the name of the game. Do I risk it? What should I do? I guess. What are my options here? I go Millennium Falcon, I guess, is the best option. They got a TIE Bomber. Let's go ahead and put R2 as a pilot onto the Millennium Falcon. Wingman Victor 2. They play this as a pilot. Okay. Let's go ahead and get in for 4 here. If they claim initiative. Okay, they claimed initiative. We've got R2 coming down. Boshek. We can put that to the bottom. Not exactly all that relevant. I don't think anything here is really going to save us. I'm curious what they're going to do here, because they're going to attack in with the Ruthless Raider. They're going to hit the Millennium Falcon? Why did they do that? Reveal Foresight, and I mean, that is enough to finish off the game with the R2. Now, we have more 1-drops than 5-drops in the deck, as far as I know. I guess there's enough in our resource pile and discard pile that maybe it's not the case. So that's why I went with the attack with Han Solo, so we get the different odd costs to get in for 5, but then R2 actually finishes off the game. And now they're going to go in with the TIE Bomber, which doesn't really matter. We can go all on the Han, and then we just finish off the game here with the attack. Wait, with the attack? Hello? With the attack. from the R2. I mean, the game is over. Oh, it says I won. I guess they conceded it and then left. All right, cool. That was really close. I was very surprised they didn't just go for the base. I think they should have gone for the base. And then we would have been in a situation where we would have had to kill off the lieutenant, if I'm remembering our damage on our base correctly. And that means we wouldn't have had lethal necessarily. They would have attacked him with a TIE bomber, which would have gotten some indirect damage dealt to some of our units. It would have been really close, but I'm surprised. I'm surprised they went with that direction. That was a sweet game. Nothing like a little Han Solo odd mirror. We got a pretty decent hand here. I really like Foresight. I'm going to actually keep both Foresights. And they're going to go Mon Mothma. Looks like they're going to go and grab a Rebel. So it looks like maybe they're playing a little bit of a Rebel deck. They got Chewbacca here. We're going to go Cartel Turncoat plus Foresight. And then we're going to reveal a top card of our deck. We got Plo Koon. So we're going to go and grab Plo Koon here. And then we've drawn an extra card already. Luke Skywalker could potentially be good. We've got another Millennium Falcon here that we can, or we've got Millennium Falcon rather, that we can deploy. I actually think I will resource the Concord Dawn. Now there are two of them. What Rebel are they getting down? They've got a Wedge. That is pretty cool. Let's go ahead and just get in an attack here. We've got You're My Only Hope on top. Wedge. That's scary. Wedge is scary. Now there are two of them, and Wedge is pretty scary. I'm not going to lie, guys. Millennium Falcon comes out. We're going to draw that You're My Only Hope, which is going to be pretty good. Get in an attack. We're going to draw You're My Only Hope. Boom. Got ourselves a couple additional cards here. I will pay the one for Millennium Falcon because we can play the You're My Only Hope. Plus, we have a bunch of 3-drops anyways. I think the Tediarium is actually not exactly that strong. Do we have more 3-drops right now in our deck or more 1-drops? We have 1, 2... Bamboozle, huh? They're going to bamboozle the... Ooh. I feel like they should have done that to the Cartel Turncoat because it would have bounced our card. Let's go ahead and get an attack here. Ooh, we got a Han Solo on top. That's pretty nice. Let's go with You're My Only Hope, and we will play this as a unit and ambush the Mon Mothma. Why not? They're going to claim initiative. That's fine. We're going to pass. We're going to name Millennium Falcon. I believe that's still the most likely card. R2. Actually, R2 could be a more likely card here. The Millennium Falcon. It is, right? Because we have 5 copies of R2. So... Millennium Falcon, do we want to bounce that? I feel like we do want to keep it running because we have Han Solo's deploy here, which could be pretty good. Our opponent hasn't really done a whole lot, to be honest. Like, they played the Bamboozle. They did the Now There Are Two of Them. They're going to Commandeer here. Okay. A little bit odd. Let's go ahead and reveal a Waylay. Ooh, that means we can knock out this Wedge. Commandeer, I mean, they can grab the Millennium Falcon, hit in for 3. They can deploy on the Millennium Falcon, but that's still not that great either. Okay. This is a 3-drop, so if we get this and then another Foresight, we can refresh all of our resources and play a Plo Koon after. Yeah, I think that's what we want to do. Boshek comes down. What are you going to do, opponent? Millennium Falcon's going to bounce back to our hand here. I'm surprised they didn't just grab the Cartel Turncoat. Let's go ahead and put a Wolfpack Escort onto the battlefield. Let's go ahead and put a R2-D2 onto the Cartel Turncoat here. We're going to go ahead and... Wait, whoops. We're going to put a Foresight on the Wolfpack Escort. Then we're going to pilot onto the Wolfpack Escort. Get in for 4 here. Then play a Plo Koon and ambush. Oh, that is insane. Let's go R2 on the top one. We've got a Foresight, so now we can name Foresight. Perfect. And Oh, and then of course we draw 2 more Millennium Falcons. What an insane combination, guys. That was incredible. That was incredible. I mean, I don't know what else to say. This is absolutely sweet. I love this deck. It's so much fun. You take so many game actions. It's so fun. They can play a Bamboozle. They got multiple main deck Bamboozles. Okay, they're gonna bamboozle the Wolfpack Escort, I suppose. That's fine. Honestly, I really could not care less. I mean, I don't know. My opponent is just doing all the things, and it really just does not matter to me at all. Wow, they are really event heavy. What do they? They discard the Waylay? Sure, sure. Let's go Cartel Turncoat, and then let's drop in the Foresight and a Foresight here. And we will pass name R2, I guess. We got a Republic Y wing, so we'll draw the Republic Y wing. That is absolutely sweet stuff. Our opponents had a million forms of disruption, but really just not getting there. Oh, I shouldn't pay 1 because we could have played the Luke. It doesn't really matter. I don't see how our opponent can ever come back from this. Yeah, sure, ambush. Doesn't matter. Game's over, and we got the Plo Koon attack for 6 into either one of our other units. Game is over. That was pretty sweet, guys. GG to our opponent. I mean, it wasn't even really, I mean, it was, I don't know. I don't even think it was that close. And they had the now there are 2 of them. Like, they had the now there are 2 of them into their 5 drop, which is kind of their ideal turn 1, turn 2 situation going on. But lots of events, lots of random stuff going on. So maybe they were too heavy on events, which it makes it seems like that was the case. And this is a lot of events, multiple main deck Bamboozles, plus Waylays, plus Jam Communications, plus the Commandeers, and then now there are 2 of them. So that's going to be a little bit tricky, I'll say. Next up, we've got ourselves a Hera, and I am actually not going to mulligan this hand. It might seem a little bit odd to go ahead and not mulligan this hand, but we have the You're My Only Hope, which could be potentially really good. And I'm actually going to keep this Waylay because I'm going to go R2 as a unit. And then we're going to go Foresight on the R2. And then we're going to go ahead and just use odds. We reveal a Foresight. So we're going to go ahead and name Foresight here. And then we draw an extra card. Got ourselves the Obi-Wan Ether Sprite, which, you know, maybe we'll play a little bit later. We're probably going to resource. Maybe I just want to resource the second Foresight. I don't think it's going to be all that great. And we'll see what my opponent decides to do here. Let's go ahead and use this attack. We're reveal an R2 off the top. So not exactly a strong play, but we did draw the Millennium Falcon, which is pretty good. I think I will just go ahead and play out the Millennium Falcon here. What they can do, and we'll just name Millennium. Oh, it's R2 on the top, actually. What they could do is attack with the Sabine's Masterpiece to kill my Millennium Falcon, which is obviously pretty decent. Yep, they're going to give an experience token. We are going to go ahead and get an attack in. We'll see what's on top. We got a Bashek on top. Not exactly what I want to be seeing. Let's go with a Cartel Turncoat here. Hera piloted on. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and bounce that one then. Get that back to their hand. And they're going to go ahead and claim initiative. So we're going to go ahead and pass. What do we have on top? Bashek. Awesome. Draw an additional card. Double You're My Only Hope. That could be interesting. Sabine's Masterpiece is pretty sweet in Hera. This is a deck I really have been wanting to play. I'm going to be honest, guys. I've been really interested in playing this type of deck. Sabine's Masterpiece. They're going to attack the Cartel Turncoat, huh? A little bit odd, I'm going to be honest. A little bit odd. Let's go ahead and get in an attack into their base. What's on top? We've got Shuttle Dedirium. So we can go, You're My Only Hope, play the Shuttle, pilot on, refresh a couple resources. They're really trying to play the more controlling game here. So we can pilot and then deploy. Or I could ready up resources to try to play in like an Ether Sprite. Yeah, I think I would just rather deploy an Ether Sprite here. Ah. They're going to claim initiative. They've had a pretty couple of good options here across the board to deal with kind of what we got going on. These pilots and stuff have been pretty solid. Another shuttle, don't really care about that one. And we haven't really been able to leverage the You're My Only Hopes here. They got the Luke. Let's go ahead and get an attack. We're going to get an experience token guaranteed. That's a Luke on top, though. That's a little bit unfortunate. Attack. Let's go with a Concord Dawn. Nice little Sentinel. And we'll see. They've got a Hera. So I suppose we just finish off the Sabine here. I don't really like our situation very much. The Ghost here, huh? That's pretty sweet. Not gonna lie, guys. That is pretty sweet. Our opponent's got a lot of cool stuff going on right now. Let's go to claim initiative. And, ooh, that's a Han. I do like Han a lot. Let's see. This has got Sentinel. So does Hera. So let's just go ahead and attack in. We're getting an experience token on the Concord Dawn. Chewbacca, huh? Okay, that doesn't really change anything because they're going to have to attack my Concord Dawn Interceptors. And now we can just deploy the Han and knock out their Hera. So I think we're still in a pretty good spot in this situation. We'll attack. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to put that onto the shuttle Tadirium. I was thinking that we could have attacked the base, but then I was like, nope, no, we're gonna go R2 onto the shuttle, because that's Sentinel since it's upgraded. They got a Kanan. We're gonna go ahead and claim initiative. They're gonna have Sentinel across the board, really, which is gonna be a little bit tricky. But they can't attack into my Concord Dawn here because they're just gonna lose their Ghost. Oh, they're gonna do that. Okay, that's fine with me, I guess. Yeah, they can do it, I suppose. It's not like it's not illegal. So let's go ahead and just kill Kanan here. Free kill on the Kanan seems pretty good to me. I keep thinking they're gonna play like a Luke Skywalker or something, but they can't. Force throw, huh? Okay, we're gonna discard the Concord Dawn here. We're just gonna go ahead and play a Luke, kill off the Luke. And I mean, yeah, they killed our unit with the force throw, which is great, right? Like they got a couple of cool things going on, but Waylay, huh? Boshek's probably the worst here. Let's just go ahead and attack into the Sabine, finish off the Sabine. No reason to do anything else but just really control the board. We got Luke and Han on the board. They're saying GG. I mean, the game is going to be pretty tough to come back with. We would have gone ahead and attacked with Luke. Any card in our deck, we would have been able to play You're My Only Hope plus Waylay on this turn. And then we would have just been way, way far ahead. We probably would have gotten in for 7 points of damage. I mean, the game was pretty interesting all throughout. The Sabine's Masterpiece, plus like all the stuff going on, plus the Ghost. I mean, this is a really cool list. It's really, really cool. It's something that I've been meaning to play, and I can't wait to go ahead and dive into some games with that. Into our next matchup, we got ourselves a good old Kaz Red, and we've got a pretty expensive hand. We're going to go ahead and mulligan that one into a pretty reasonable hand, actually. I do like this. I think I'm going to resource the Luke, and I think I'm going to resource the R2D2 unit. And I'm going to pass here. I don't want my opponent to be playing a Fireball or something on turn one. Looks like they got a black one, which is fine. We're going to go Cartel Turncoat, and we're going to go Cartel Turncoat. And then I think we're going to put a pilot onto a cartel turncoat, which is going to be pretty cool. That was a lot of different things that we just did on turn one. I'm not going to lie, guys. We better find like a Bocek or a foresight or something like that to draw into a couple of additional stuffs. We'll see my opponent's got here on the second turn. They have to kind of put a pilot, and if they do, we get to put a pilot in Han Solo on our cartel turncoat to finish off the black one. Ooh, that is the one pilot that we did not want to see. So our opponent really doing some work with that one. Oh, they're going to ignore us, huh? That's interesting. Let's go on and go odds. We got a shuttle Tedarium here on top. We've got a Han Solo we're going to put as a pilot, and we're going to attack with the cartel turncoat in for their base for 5, and we're going to pass. Waylay was a pretty nice draw. Do I want to go with the Waylay, Commandeer, or the Shuttle Tedarium? I think the Commandeer here is going to be pretty sweet. They can't pilot Kazuda onto the black one right now. I think our opponent probably should have just killed the cartel turncoat. I think I'm going to keep the Waylay and the Commandeer just because I think that gives me more options, and I prefer that. They hate that ship. Do they have the home one? They do. That is sweet. Good stuff for my opponent. Let's see. Let's go ahead and waylay the black one. And I mean, yeah, they got to kill my ship, and the home one was pretty good. They're going to go pilot onto that home one. That is fine with me. We got a Concord Dawn Interceptor, which is pretty good. We're going to go TIE Fighter attack, TIE Fighter attack. We're going to pass. There's a foresight. There's a Commandeer. I don't want to resource anything here, really. Maybe it's just the foresight. Ooh, they're going to heroic sacrifice. Getting in for massive amounts of damage. Let's go with odds. Let's see. We got an R2 on top. Let's see what they got in terms of a follow-up here. I mean, that's a lot of damage. The home one combo was pretty good in this spot. It makes sense why they didn't go with the attack into my unit anymore. Ooh, they've got a Millennium Falcon here. Do I want to commandeer that? Yeah, I do. I do want to commandeer the Millennium Falcon. It's going to bounce back to their hand. Then we can deploy this onto the TIE Fighter. And that's going to give us enough resources to play the Concord Dawn as well. And we're going to be able to crush our opponent here. Concord Dawn as a Sentinel. And now, I mean, I'm not sure how they get through this, right? Kazuda, unless they have like breaking in, and breaking in doesn't quite get through, right? And we win in a single attack with his Han Solo. So, I mean, our opponent's going to have something real good here. Jam Communications, interesting card. I don't know if it's really main deck card. I think I see a lot of people playing that. And I think just having a little bit too many events in your deck can be a little bit tricky here. But Disabling Fangfighter, killing off the Han. Sure. Let's go ahead and get in an attack with the Concord Dawn. They finished off the Han Solo, but I mean, can they get through this Concord Dawn Interceptors? It's looking less and less likely here. Main deck Disabling Fangfighter for all of those pilots out there. And the TIE Fighters, are they going to get there? They are going to get there. And that was GG, kind of dismantling a pretty strong start for my opponent's Kazuda red deck. I'm not going to lie, guys. They had the They Hate That Ship home one combination. They had an aggressive start, and we still were able to take it down with a pretty sweet hand. Just really, really doing some work here. Thank you, Cerulean. Thank you, my friend. A great game here, and really close, to be honest. It was closer than it looks. Even though we're on 17 HP, a single attack from home with a surprise strike kills us, right? So, or like a punch it, like with combination of something else. That commandeer was pretty critical because we got enough resources to where we can commandeer a 3-drop and then flip Han to ready enough resources so we can Concord Dawn Interceptors, which prevented the additional attack next turn. Which, if they had like, I guess Trench Run doesn't work because this is not a fighter. But if they had like something like a surprise strike +3/+0, it would have been insanely tough to deal with. So really cool stuff, guys. I'm not gonna lie, that was awesome. All right, and we find ourselves in the last matchup up against Rio Durant. This one's gonna be hopefully pretty interesting. We have an okay start. I'm not a huge fan of this start, to be honest. I did mulligan that first hand, but I'm not a huge fan simply because I would have liked to have 2 drops or like a foresight on turn 1, but we do have the technically 2/1 resource plays to play with the R2. I'm going to resource the shuttle. Might seem a little bit awkward, but we're going to do that. And they played a mercenary gunship, which makes me want to just play this as a unit. And then, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. We're just going to pass here. Concord Dawn is pretty good here. Not as good up against a Rio Durant deck, but still pretty good. Wolfpack Escort being able to go out and trade directly in with that mercenary gunship is pretty nice for us, though. What? I cannot believe our opponent's doing that. We got a Millennium Falcon on top. They got a Mist Hunter. I suppose we could play the Millennium Falcon. Do I want to play the Millennium Falcon? Yeah, you know what? We'll play the Millennium Falcon. I'm really surprised. Honestly, I think my opponent should have gone ahead and ignored this and just attacked the base because they have a better stat unit versus my Wolfpack Escort. Maybe they're just trying to get rid of units or something. I'm not sure. But I think I would have gone with something completely different in my opponent's situation. They do want a vehicle to go ahead and put Rio on, so we'll see. But I think I want to resource this Commandeer. It's tough because maybe Commandeer is the play. I want options is the problem. Maybe it's just this Concord Dawn Interceptors and I keep the Millennium Falcon. Actually, you know what? I think it's the opposite. I think I resource the Millennium Falcon here. We'll see if they use the Rio ability to go out and kill my Millennium Falcon. I think that's a reasonable play to make. No, they're going to attack the base. All right, we're going to use Han's ability. We got an Obi-Wan's Ether Sprite, which is perfect because we can knock out that Mist Hunter here. And they've got a hover tank, huh? All right, we're going to waylay that. Nice little usage of resources. We're going to go and pass. We got that Ether Sprite in our hand now. We've got an R2. Commandeer looks pretty good here as well. If I Commandeer a drop... You know what? I don't think we're going to be able to get down on the Ether Sprite. I want to be able to play as many things this turn as possible. And so now what we can do is Commandeer this hover tank. And then that's going to give us options to be able to deploy Han onto the Millennium Falcon, which is what I'm going to do. We're going to go odds here. We've got a Bocek, which means we can attack in. We've got a pilot onto the Millennium Falcon. It's going to ready up a resource, or rather 3 resources because we got 3 odds. Attack, attack, Concord Dawn Interceptors, and then that hover tank's going to bounce back to their hand. That was incredible. That was an incredible couple of things that just happened. Let's go and resource that R2D2. They're saying GG. We kind of just dismantled them across the board. I think there was a reasonable play for them to make, which is Rio attack into my Millennium Falcon to get rid of it off the board. But I mean, the readying up of additional resources, the Commandeer coming in, I mean, that was just incredible. Like all of the things that we did today it was just incredible. Like everything that just happened. I've been really impressed with this Han deck. I'm not going to lie, guys. All right, everyone. What did we learn with Han Blue here today? This deck was an absolute blast. We performed really well as well. We had a lot of like semi-combo turns with the Han Solo. The You're My Only Hopes did some pretty good work in some of those games where you were grabbing Han Solos or Obi-Wan's Ether Sprites off the top. And in some cases, Plo Koons. We didn't actually grab like the Luke Skywalkers, the Han Solo big versions off the top, which, well, is kind of part of the reason why they're in there, but doesn't always happen. One card that is absolutely impressive in this deck, Foresight, guys. This card, I mean, we were drawing like 4 to 5 cards in a single turn, and it's kind of like build your own early drop, right? We would go with like Cartel Spacer, and then now we have a 2/5 on turn 1 for 2 resources, but then that Foresight replaces itself immediately. So Foresight's basically like a free +2 toughness in this deck, because again, even if your opponent takes initiative, even if you don't have initiative and they've got some way to kill it on turn 2, you still get to replace your foresight. So you're not really losing a whole lot. Even with like Wolfpack Escort, it's like build your own X-Wing and then it continues to draw you cards, right? So if they don't remove it, it's still going to do some massive, massive work. The other card that was really cool was Bo Shek drawing 2 every single time it came down. And overall, just the ability to go ahead and flip Han and then do some of these crazy, like, play a million things on that Han Solo flip. We were consistently getting 3 to 5 resources back with Han Solo. Another card that was extremely impressive, and honestly, this is a card that I'm going to start adding oftentimes to all my decks, just in general, kind of like a change of heart, is that Commandeer. There were some games where that card comes in, we get an extra resource with Han, it gets in for some damage, it just does some dominant things. Even in that last game that we played against Rio, the ability to essentially waylay but also put on pressure is insanely strong. Now, of course, it has to be a unit without a pilot, which can be tricky in some matchups. It also has to be a vehicle unit, which can be tricky also. But usually most decks are running space units. You just kind of have to feel out the situation. Again, it's like that change of heart scenario where in some matchups you're resourcing, in other matchups you're not. And that's just the decision you have to make. Overall, this was an incredibly fun deck. And quite strong, honestly. I think just the constant options, the cheapness of the deck. There was a lot of situations where I felt like I had 8 cards in my hand, but then I would go down to like 1 to 2 cards because of all the 1-drops we had. I mean, if you look, we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and 2 R2s here. That puts us at 17 1-drops. And in most cases, this R2 is a 0-drop. And then we also have like Bo Shek, who's sitting at 2 resources. Han Solo, who's actually a 5-drop, but really a 2-drop in some situations. And the rest of the deck is pretty cheap. So we just dove through a ton of our cards. I think one of the things that this deck might, or rather could really use, is a couple of really nice early plays. More cards like Cartel Turncoat would be amazing. Wolfpack Escort kind of dies to everything. Y-Wing, not enough power to really put on a lot of pressure to your opponent. So that's something to think about. But overall, I mean, this was super fun. I had a ton of fun going in and drawing a bunch of cards and kind of valuing through the whole game. And there was a lot of decisions to make. I was trying to play fast as I normally do to keep it nice and high paced for you all. But that was fun. I don't know what else to say. This is probably the most fun I've had with a set 4 deck so far. And I've been playing a little bit of Han already, but I haven't really dove into a ton to play with him. I was mainly playing like Han Red, Han Double Yellow, but I was seeing some Foresight action and I was like, guys, we just got to dive into Foresight. Like, that is absolutely sweet. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you all for the next one.